bring in an honored guest here. He's been requested. We did an Instagram post for Bill's predictions. They were saying, what about OrchidMan's prediction? Because they know he's plugged in directly to the football and baseball programs. Our guy, Jose Perez, the OrchidMan. How we doing? Nice and vertical.
Yeah, I got it. Morning, D. Morning, Pete.
So,
how you doing? Good
Jose,
morning,
man. I thought of you on Sunday when Cam Ward was having trouble with some drops, and your guy Calvin was smashing the guardrail, all upset, all frustrated, man. I thought our boy looked pretty good in his debut. Just kind of didn't get that much help.
I mean, they were terrible catching the ball. I mean, I would tell you that Denver is a pretty solid defense. Tough environment to go into Denver to try to win it, and he had a chance. I mean, he put two balls. One. I think he led the rookie a little bit. That one's excusable.
Yep.
But Ridley's was you're not a 30-year-old receiver. You can't be dropping those passes. Come on.
And for people who don't know, just talk about Calvin because he was the one that went viral, and his wife Patrice. I mean, these guys were at the Notre Dame game. They are like, you talk about loving Miami and supporting Miami and being good people. I mean, we're not just saying this because this guy is here. He's not even here anymore. This is just the truth. I mean, how awesome are Calvin and Patrice, Cam, and his whole family unit there for Cam Ward?
It's an amazing family, and Nyla, his girlfriend too, in the background. She's amazing. I had never seen Calvin, to be honest with you, so animated before. I mean, I was surprised to see him, actually do something, because they are the most even keel, in the background, not trying to make a splash at all. So he wanted it for Cam, because that would have been a hell of a start for him. I think overall he did great. I mean, listen, it's game one. I was looking at some tweets. Some of these NFL guys thought he was going to be just fine.
Yeah, I saw Orlovsky was saying that they watched the film, or he watched the film, and the film was outstanding. A lot of the guys that just sat down and watched it afterwards, and they saw the throws from the coach's view, or the eye in the sky. I mean, this guy was out there.
That's what I'm talking about, Orlovsky. He that guy's pretty legit. Guys, can we just veer off for a second? And talk about, we're on a Canes chat, but to see the complete opposites of football in this town right now, between the Miami Dolphins and the Miami Hurricanes. I mean, I've never been more embarrassed to be a Miami Dolphin fan in my whole entire life. And I've said this to my friends and my family for a long time. When they hired Mike McDaniel, I thought, how is this guy gonna ever be able to motivate these players? And it flips. That guy becomes a savant for a year and a half, and then now, exactly what I thought is happening. I mean, there's no way that guy has the ability to control, and motivate those players. And on the flip side, we have a university with an incredible administration, incredible coach, incredible staff, motivating these players with the right culture, with the right players, recruiting the right type of player. I mean, it can't be more opposite in this town at the moment. And I think people need to really start, waking up and getting behind our Canes, because we're coming. And I don't say that in a Dion fashion.
No, well, you make a good point. How you point out the administration. It's not just the head coach. It's the entire organization, because just kind of having somewhat of a sense of what's happening with the Dolphins. It's not a blame on one person. What's happening there right now. It's taken years to get to this point, and it's going to have to be a complete teardown, right? Which you got to have strong leadership. And in a sense, what Miami did with bringing Mario in and kind of his idea and vision for what was happening here wasn't a teardown, but you needed strong people in place around that. And obviously Mario believed that the pieces were in place for his vision to be played out, as we're, in the middle of still this process, but getting closer to where I think he wants it to be, as he's talked about. So yeah, everyone from the support staff, recruiting side, like it's we can always nitpick certain things as fans from the outside, but it takes the entire village for this thing to work.
Orchid Man, let me say one thing on this. You said it's something that was I hadn't thought about it this way, but just comparing and contrasting the leadership, not just the organization. If you look at Mario and McDaniel, McDaniel, he has that whole kind of like, I'm a nerd vibe, whatever. I think he makes it a gimmick a little bit. He kind of plays to the cameras with it. But when things are going not so good, is he going to be able to stand up and kind of control the room in the same way that someone like Mario, who played the game and has a physical presence? I don't know if that's,
he clearly lost the team last year at the end of the year. They talked a big game, and then they've come in here, and they've continued with the same, issues. But it starts with Stephen Ross as the owner. When you're in Miami, when you're at my age now, then you've watched football since you were 7 years old, and you've watched the Dolphins, and what a proud franchise that once was. And you had an owner like Huizenga, which was at the very least, Huizenga was a good owner, and he didn't play to the camera. When Stephen Ross bought the team, I knew it was over for the Dolphins and for this franchise when he started handing out 1% ownerships to Gloria Stefan and Venus Williams and Mark Anthony, things that don't pertain to winning football games. And that's the issue with the Dolphins. It starts at the top with the ownership. It rolls down to a general manager who has been there for 10 years and has not won a playoff game, still has a worse roster today than he did probably 10 years ago. And it's just it's a joke. On the flip side, you have a guy who's come in here 4 years ago with a roster that everyone knows could not compete at a high level. Players on the O line and the D line that were not ready to compete against the Ohio States and the Alabamas and the Georgias. Realizes what he has to do, has gone to work every day since then to do nothing but improve this university and this team. And the proof's in the pudding.
Shout out to Bangkok.
I was going to
Vice.
say the only
Appreciate your
positive.
support. Oh, sorry. I just want to say shout out to Bangkok.
I was going to say the only
for support here. He's saying the only way we lose this game or any game I fear this year is Mario's time management.
I don't know if I have a little delay here or something, but
yeah, you got a little delay. It's okay. He's saying Bangkok by saying the only way to lose this game or any game this year, I fear, is Mario's time management or deflating the football with a lead. Go Canes. Appreciate you for the super chat, Bangkok Vice. Mario put 50 on these guys last year, so I think we can really ramp it up against them and have in the past, but we'll see how it goes. I'll tell you one thing, Orchid Man, the difference, I'll give it to Pete here because I know he's on a delay. Big difference here on the field up front, the Dolphins and the Hurricanes. I'm sure Tua kind of wishes he had Miami's offensive line, which Carson Beck has, because it is night and day just at that level what we do on the up front and what the Dolphins are doing up front.
Mario has the right, blueprint. He has the right mindset. You win in the trenches. You win in the trenches. When you have to run the ball, you run the ball. When you have to get a sack, you get a sack. Yes. Can you have a perfect team year in and year out? It's a virtual impossibility in this day and age with the portal. But you have to win when in the trenches, and that's where he has made the biggest difference on this team over the last couple of years. When you see CC, and you see somebody like Samson come along the way he's come along, the way they developed Samson, the way they didn't give up on Samson. That creates depth on that line. You saw Buchanan come in and play some serious snaps. SJ come in and play some serious snaps. So you have a solid offensive line today, but as you look at the 26, I feel good right now. Already looking into 26. Yeah. Do you think he's gonna be? You think he's done? You think he's done recruiting the 26 class, and you don't think he's gonna bring in another D lineman, another couple of another O lineman here before it's all said and done? He is. So when you see this continuous improvement, it's makes you feel good.
Orchid Man, I know. Oh, so Pete, you're back live.
Yeah, well, I had one thing I was going to say is with Ross, the one positive I'll give him is that the stadium has been, as a couple people have said in the comments, like if we're not going to have an on-campus stadium, as we know is never going to happen here, at least we have a world-class facility. There's things that aren't perfect, but it's you can give him credit for that. And then there was a comment here about hopefully no Mario to the Dolphins rumors. I think Mario is a college guy, especially the way I think you're going to see a lot of NFL guys come to college just because of the way that it's set up now, where when you're the head coach of a college team, and I think Mario, as we know, is a roster builder, right? He plans this thing out 3-4 years in advance, and you have a lot more control over bringing guys in. Yes, it's not every week like in the NFL, but when you're signing these guys off the waiver wire, or you're making a trade here or there, that's just a piece here or there. You have a lot more control. It's very hard to be the GM, as we've seen before. To be the GM and the coach in the NFL is a very, very difficult thing to do. You can essentially be that in college, and I think the way that Mario's wired, I'm never going to say never, and still has to hopefully win a lot here at Miami for that even to be a thing in consideration. But my opinion is that he's a college guy, and he's at Miami for the long haul.
That's the other factor here that Miami hasn't had here in a very long time. A guy like Mario, this is his destination. With the way the money in college has changed, why would you want to go to the NFL and deal with the crap that they have to deal with over there, so long as he has the continuous support of the administration, which he has, and there's going to be they have now with Joe there, they have stability for a long time. Why would somebody want to flip to the Dolphins, which is an utter disaster, when your passion has always been about the U? Your passion has always been about the Hurricanes. Yeah. Do we need tweaks here and there? Would we wish for better facilities? Maybe we would like, something. But overall, when you have that kind of support and when you have that kind of leadership from the top, man, I see Mario here for a long, long time.
I kind of agree with this comment from Martin Quinn. He says, "Call me crazy, but I think Mike McDaniel would make a great college coach with his personality."
Yeah, maybe.
He'd be like Lane Kiffin if he had a really good booster to buy him players out of the portal. I think he'd be fine.
Just think, you know what happened to McDaniel? He just got caught up. He's just gotten caught up in the Miami vibe. If he would have continued with his little nerdy self, he'd probably still be with a little bit more control. But the yellow sneakers, the joggers up to his knees. I mean, what do you try to do here, man? I mean, what do you try to do?
Yeah, he plays the nerd side, but he likes the media.
As you could tell today, I am not feeling any Dolphin love at all, man.
I was so mad watching the trenches on Sunday that I really had to go back and watch the high school commits that we had in the class. Like I was watching Ben Congdon highlights. I was watching Joel Irvin highlights. I was watching Jackson Canwell highlights just to clear my mind. I mean, it's true. I made a post about it on CanesInSight where I posted all those guys. It makes a big difference. Now, Orchid Man, you know this better than most, but I only people that are not on the inside understand this. How much every coach we've ever had has talked about getting high character players, and they have not all gotten high character players. We've seen guys that had questions coming in and then have problems later, right? So we know that they might say they want character guys and then not necessarily abiding by that. This, from what I've seen on the inside, and you're more inside than me, is a very strong emphasis to get high character players and not just talk about it, but actually not go after guys because of character, prioritize guys because of character, and really make it a real part of what they do and not just something they say in a press conference. What can you tell people about how just diligent this staff is, this recruiting department is on character evaluation, how important that is to this team?
When you look at the roster, especially at the beginning when Mario got here to today, it's a completely different roster. And besides the metrics, the character and the culture has completely changed. And I'm gonna tell you, I give a lot of credit to Dennis Smith. Dennis gets a lot of heat on Twitter, and he gets a lot of heat, from a lot of people. But Dennis plays a vital role in identifying these guys and making sure that they are the right fit for the Canes. Mario obviously gives the green light, but they got to get to Mario, and they don't get to Mario by chance. They get to Mario through the staff, and Dennis plays a vital role in that. And I spoke to him right during spring, and then at the beginning of fall ball, and he would tell me, Jose, it's we hit on all the transfer guys. We hit on all of them. And that's rare, because besides being, great, um, besides being good players, they also are high character guys. And it's hard to meld a team in 3 and 4 months and having everybody accept their role. It's a challenge for that staff, and my hats off to all of them, because they are top to bottom. You know, they've done a great job.
They work hard. The details are crazy. With Dennis, obviously we both know him. I try to stay out of it just because I don't want to get bias or anything like that. People criticize him a lot, and he'll self-evaluate when he makes mistakes. But I will say the one thing you can't take away from Dennis, which I don't think gets the publicity because he's not going to publicize it, is if there's no Dennis Smith, there's no Cam Ward. I mean, that people who are on the inside kind of know that. That just doesn't happen without his persistence and the way he stayed on it and the relationships and everything he did. So
Dennis is relentless. He is relentless. Is he perfect? Who is? No one in this world is perfect, but he is as hardworking and as good a person as you're going to find, in that building.
So just going forward, we're getting to USF. You've seen the team through 2 games. Kind of where do you see this? Let's just this week. Where do you see this team? What do you want to see from this team, and where do you see him going here?
One of the things I really want to see is how we control their quarterback. This is going to be a very good test and preparation for Castellanos in 2 weeks or in 3 weeks, right? Both mobile, both quarterbacks that can get out of the pocket. How do we control, Brown? And then what do we learn from this game that we can take it to Florida State in 3 weeks? That's the most important thing that I want to see.
Okay, so you're getting questions here in the chat. Canes Cat Heat 305 says, OrchidMan, don't leave me without giving me some life about the baseball program and our recruiting. I think I could safely say, I don't think it's a secret. You're very close to Coach Arteaga, close to this team. We talked about it last time. You had a very good sense of the team, even when they were in a slump, of what would potentially happen with the turnaround. So you have a good pulse for this squad. The new kids have shown up. I've gotten great reports on how they look physically, both the transfers and the freshmen. I just, the word I got from my guy who scouting background. Adrian Lorenzo, I co-host El Big League Show with him. If you guys are baseball fans, check that out on YouTube. El Big League Show, EL Big League Show. But he's a former MLB exec. He knows this team very well. He saw him 2 years ago when JD first got here. He's seen him now, and he says night and day, body wise, just talent wise, it's a different. It kind of like with the football, right? In a shorter time period, just total overhaul of what it looked like 2 years ago to what it looks like now. What are you hearing and seeing with the baseball team?
I haven't been out there yet. I mean, fall ball starts October 8th, so I'll go out there once fall ball starts and hang around a little bit. But from what I'm hearing is very, very big, very, very, athletic. Couple of good freshman pitchers. We're gonna tease it. We're not gonna Malachi Tony it yet, but a couple of good freshman pitchers. The real deal, which we already know, Sosa is a real deal bat. Keeping Ogden, not losing him a year early and having that presence in the locker room and in on the team is going to be big. Hearing a lot of good things about Sheehan defensively. So overall, looks like a very promising, spring for college baseball.
Yeah, I'll be out there with you at fall ball. One of my favorite times. I never got to do that before. So I was working the law job full time. So this last year, I was able to get out there like during the middle of the day. It's nice and cool. You're sitting there by yourself watching it. That was like the best, watching those fall ball practices. So I'll be out there with you. We talked to Coach Salta Lamacchia yesterday. That interview should be coming out pretty soon. And awesome hire, very impressive. I think the guy's going to bring a lot of big time experience to this operation.
Yeah, we were really short last year on a catching coach, and Salty obviously is gonna bring another element to that staff. That's gonna be very helpful for sure.
All right, P, what you got? Anything for OrchidMan before we let you go? Let him go?
No. I'm just sitting back, listening and enjoying hearing his insights, man.
Yeah, no, you got to take the day off. You're out here. You're making your spa plans. You're checking on your weighted vest. What people have been asking about the weighted vest after you got all the compliments on your physique at Duffy's, man. The weighted vest, you let it get your head.
Listen, no, I've been working, man. I've been needing to take a little break on it though.
I know OrchidMan, you already ran like 2110s this morning, right?
I did not. I did go to the gym, but my wife loves the weighted vest, man. She walks around with a 12-pound like if it's nothing. But she's not well.
Well, any weighted vest sponsors, let Pete know, man, because he's getting a lot of people free money with this promotion. So
I got the dog here.
Hey, so listen, OrchidMan, appreciate you. Wait, real quick before you go. Pull up the site. We tell them already, but tell everybody about what you do. People ask, is this just selling orchids? Like you have a whole operation when it comes to landscaping, commercial and residential, and taking worries out of people's heads. And
yeah, we're a full service landscaping company. So we've been around since 2008, and we service pretty much Dade, Broward, Palm Beach, a little bit in the Keys, not too much right now, but pretty much handle grounds maintenance, installation work, irrigation, tree trimming. Those are our main offerings, and give us a call.
Yeah, no, I know you've had some great Canes fans reach out to you, and I think the big thing is, at least for me, I'm not. This is your passion; it's not mine. So when things need to get done, like tree relocation, I wouldn't even know where to start. Just these kind of things that you worry about, you take control of it and kind of steer the ship and quarterback the operation, right?
That's correct. Yes, sir.
That's what we want. We need our brain space to focus on Canes football and beating USF on Saturday. Not that we can do anything, but we can still break down every matchup in our head.
I feel good about Saturday. I think I would not be, shocked if it's a comfortable win on Saturday. I will tell you though, we got to be ready for Florida, because USF's not going to come and sneak up on Miami on Saturday. But if Florida loses to LSU, we cannot think that Florida is going to come in here and lay down. And that's pretty much the bigger trap game than USF. I would not be surprised we kill USF 34-14, 34-10, 41-17. But we need to come ready for Florida.
I love it. The one and only Orchid Man. Thank you, brother. Glad we got to see some of that beautiful decor behind you. You got the screen vertical. We're making progress here, man.
We're making progress. We're making progress.
Appreciate you.
Thank you, guys.
You.
Good seeing you guys.
Always good to visit with the Orchid Man. We got people all over the place here watching the show. I've heard Cambodia. I've heard the East Coast of Australia. Now we got the Miami Fire Station #1 downtown. Hazmat, go Canes. Appreciate you and all you do for the community, HJS and all the boys. Kyle saying, LOL at the Orchid Man calling the Mighty Gators a trap game. That's just the truth, man. That's the truth. That's the truth. I got to comment. I wasn't planning to talk about these guys, but I got to because my guy right here, Lex Dixon, is letting me know. I went to Islas Canarias and Islas Express before the game on Saturday, man. You're probably totally full and satisfied instead of buying that, stadium food. You were out there actually satisfied at Islas Canarias Express. So what he's saying is there's the classic Islas Canarias store, which has been serving Miami since I was in junior high school. Well, before I was born, really, but I've been going there since high school, right there in Tamiami, one of the most famous, if not the most famous Cuban restaurant for Cubans out there. And then it has since been adapted to the Cuban Express, which is there in the Dayland Mall Dining Pavilion, which has even like more on-the-go kind of modern options like Cubaritos. The restaurant there in Tamiami is very traditional. You feel like you're in Cuba, the old Cuba, not the new one where everything stinks. But you got to feel like you're in the old Cuba. And then this one here in the dining pavilion for guys that are on the go, girls that are on the go, on their way somewhere from the Dayland Mall. Maybe you're just passing through on the metro. You're in the area, quick grab and go, and you're fully satisfied. Plus, you could eat there at the dining pavilion and enjoy yourself. So shout out to Islas Canarias and shout out to Lex for trying both two totally different experiences per Lex. So anyways, shout out.
Go.
Yeah, man. Anything else on your mind, Pete? I mean, I know you're gonna have a wrestler of the week this week for on the Mike Ryan show.
Guess we'll have to see.
All right, man. Well, listen, appreciate everybody joining the show. Remember to like and subscribe. How many people we got on right now?
Almost 1,300 here.
Almost 1,300. Don't forget to go to the Miami Hurricane team store for your shirts. 20% off your first item. Promo code INSIGHT20 and shirts in general at 20% off. So you can get 20% off everything. You could buy your first item, buy a hat, and then buy a bunch of shirts for 20% off. You get 20% off everything. They got the classic ones. Look at that. I like this one, this gray one right here with the old logo. I believe for a time this might have been deemed insensitive, but we're back with the shirt, so we're glad to have it back with the logo or with the actual Hurricane. Got some shirts to work out in. I mean, all kinds of different options. Cam Ward, show your support. And you got a lot of stuff for youth. You have a newborn in the family. Hook them up with some of these. Look at this nice fishing shirt here from Colombia. Love this outfit right here. And yeah, man, we're rocking and rolling with the Miami Hurricane team store. Insight 20 to get you 20% off. There it is right there. Michael Montavo, beat USF, packed the rock. Pete, you'll be packing the studio right there for the post game right after. You'll be in position, ready to rock.
Yep.
Look at this. Croqueta King saying Islas is the OG. So the Croqueta King paying respect to the Croqueta Kingdom right there. Croqueta County, Islas Canarias. I'm not sure where his claim comes from. The king, the Croqueta King.
I was gonna say, do we have a John Andrade fraudulent account over here, or what is
he's
this?
Paying respects. Our guy Croqueta King is paying respects to the Islas, the OG. So, anyways, Kane Scouts know why you're never at the games, so you could do the post games, and then also you're not banned, but you protected yourself from not. That
was my favorite. That was my favorite old rumor of me when I was an agent, was that I was banned from campus. I was actually physically banned from the campus.
You were on this every day.
When I was on campus every day, it was a great rumor. But no, in all seriousness, I can really sit there and watch the game from a more detailed point of view on TV.
And
So to
post
me,
game
a better
right
viewing
after. We got
experience.
post game and pregame. We'll do the pregame at the Lick in the Miami Gardens, and then you'll be sitting there for the post game right when it ends, man. Post live reaction. Hopefully,
we'll be starting the licking show at 11 this week, and the licking will open at noon. So get there early, man. Hang out with us before you guys head over to the stadium.
Go Canes.
Go Canes! Hit that like and subscribe.